Yes, indeed, folks. So listen to Blue Please here on WoW Radio with myself, so basically the final Blue Please, because of course Titan will air next week. What is Titan? Titan is myself and Ariana co-hosting a show. It'll be about WoW. It may not be the same as Epic. Yes, I did just say. It might be a different format. It more than likely will be a different format. In fact, it pretty much guaranteed will be a different format. But we hope to entertain you with that. It will be a slightly later time slot. I must apologise for that. Unfortunately, I woke up this morning about an hour before showtime like, oh crap. Because of course I was on an EU-friendly time slot. We hope this one will still be fine for EU listeners. It's only 2100 GMT, so it should be okay. And hopefully people will enjoy what we have. Speaking of enjoyment, anyone that's donated to the station will of course have access to some interesting shows. Stuff that the rest of you don't get. Specifically right now, at any rate, we've got What's on Duncor's Mind, and of course everyone needs more Duncor in their life, and the Biscuit Perspective, which is mine. So you can go and check out the Donator forum if you are a donator, and you can download those exclusive shows. If you're not a donator, then we are taking donations for our WoW Radio BlizzCon equipment drive, attempting to get big-ass cameras. That's what I like to call them, big-ass cameras. And we can do that if we have the money. Of course, if you donate, you get access to the Donator forum. What's on the Donator forum? A whole heap of exclusive content that you lot don't get to see. Yes, indeed. We also, of course, have the WoW Radio Counter-Strike server. Go check it out. And the Vent server. And we're hoping to get our Savage server working soon if we can work out what the hell's wrong with it. We shall see. We shall see. Just keep an eye on the forums for that. wcradio.com/forum. Go and have a look. Well, there's not a massive amount really left for me to cover. I've covered really all I want to cover it about BlizzCon content. We will be playing Zul'Aman at BlizzCon. Anyone that's going, you'll be playing Zul'Aman. That's pretty much guaranteed. The problem with mixing it up this time with BlizzCon is the fact that there's going to be less focus on WoW. There are a lot of StarCraft 2 stuff, and that's a problem from some people's perspective. People do also believe there's going to be a new game announced. It is likely going to be Diablo 3, let's face it. There is another team working on something. Well, I wonder what popular franchises we've got. Let's see. The Death and Return of Superman? I think not. It's likely going to be Diablo 3. So we've got less focus on World of Warcraft, which of course means, well, they can get away with less content on World of Warcraft. I do really hope that it's just going to be a bigger and better BlizzCon. There's just going to be a shitload of stuff to see. Yes, a shipload of stuff. I really, really hope that's how it's going to be. If it isn't, well, that could be kind of disappointing, because the BlizzCon could effectively make or break people's morale. BlizzCon was a great morale booster last time. Not because, well, the place was a little bit bare, but you got to see new stuff, new content, and things were coming, and there was lots of cool trailers and stuff like that. And that's a good thing. That's a very good thing indeed. However, I think we really need to see more. We do. I don't want to see a focus on StarCraft 2. If there is, then, that's at the expense of WoW. And people, that will break them. It will break morale. And morale is, community-wide, a little bit dodgy right now. Understandably so. We haven't seen new content in a little while. Zul'Aman, we were hoping to see. It's coming soon. But then what? People don't know what's coming. That can be exciting, but when your faith in Blizzard is waning, that can also be frightening. As in, what are you gonna do, Blizz? What are you gonna do? You've got all these MMOs coming on the horizon, and some of them aren't too bad. Lord of the Rings has already taken a small portion of your community. Very small, but it's taken some. Vanguard took like 3 people. And we didn't like them anyway, so they can go and leave. But then you've got Warhammer Online, you've got Age of Conan. Those are your 2 biggies, at least coming up sometime very shortly in the future. You've got Fury, which is apparently some kind of PvP game. Haven't played it, probably should pick the beta up so I can have a look at it. And you've got other games that are coming soon enough that are going to be challengers. They will be challengers. It's taken them this long to bring a game which can be a challenger. But you've got to look at what made WoW successful in the first place. You've got a good license there. A good license that had following already. Decent development company, and promises of things which were done a little bit differently. It's like doing the same thing but differently, in an easy way, an accessible way. Warhammer Online looks really accessible. Age of Conan probably less so, but it can take the market that are wanting two things: skill-based combat and the ability to create your own content by building villages and towns. We've seen people try that before and it hasn't worked so well, but it looks pretty good on this one. It does. That's what really gets me about Age of Conan. The skill-based combat and the ability to make your own towns. Build them yourself. Have your own place. A place in the world that is unique to you that you must defend and expand. Something you can make your own. That's something WoW has always lacked. And of course, if WoW never brings in anything like that, and doesn't actually bring in some meaningful content as regards to it, I'm thinking world PvP as regards to guild halls, castles, towers, that kind of thing. Lineage 2 style, but less rubbish. One would hope. So that's a threat from there. And of course, Warhammer has a great license backing it up and the promise of a PvP-centric game in which your PvP, specifically your realm versus realm combat, which was great in Dark Age of Camelot, matters more to the world. It's a hybrid of PvP and PvE mixed gaming, and it's where the PvP guys are going to go. I don't think there's going to be a doubt about that. People saying Warhammer is not a threat to WoW, they would be, of course, incorrect in that assumption. It's going to take a chunk out of WoW. And a bigger chunk than any game we've seen before, and that in itself makes it threatening. Taking a chunk out of your community, of course, means that your game just isn't quite as strong. It's not in the dominant position. It might be about time, in my opinion. It might be about time that Blizzard does get a kick in the ass by having a genuine contender step up and try their luck. Vanguard was not a genuine competitor. It was a failure from the get-go. It's like, let's take the really annoying aspects of EQ and let's make them even worse by making the world even bigger and making the grind even longer. Let's not, actually. Let's just hate Vanguard for what it is. A massive pile of suck. And let's pity those who play it. But Warhammer, Age of Conan, yeah. They're contenders. They're genuine contenders. They've got something different. They seem accessible. And that's important. Because you've got a brand new generation of MMO players right here, and they don't necessarily have an attention span which will allow them to play the same game for years and years and years on end, and they might be looking for something new. They've already tried the different stuff and they've discovered that it is all rubbish. They've discovered that it's not for the casual, the newer player. We're talking stuff like EVE Online, which, while a great game, is also a giant spreadsheet and completely and totally unfriendly to the newer player. We're talking about stuff like Star Wars Galaxies, which has been modeled so many times that no one really knows what it is anymore. We're talking about stuff like Anarchy Online, which is free, for good reason. Because you can't work out how to play it. And 1,000,001 other MMORPGs that are incredibly difficult to play, and just, they're not friendly. They're not friendly to the newer player. They get in and they're lost. You never feel lost in WoW, and there's its strength right there. And that's why it brought in all these players. Anyone can play it, from your 5-year-old child to your OAP, to your businessmen, your college students, your drifters, your whatever. They can all play. That's a strong thing. But it's not going to last forever, and you can't rest on your laurels when it comes to that. You can't rest on your laurels. I do genuinely hope that Blizzard do have something new to show us, something exciting as relates to World of Warcraft. I really genuinely do. Otherwise, morale will break. It will. A lot of people are going to get very disillusioned. And that is powerful, because it's contagious. If you've got enough people saying the game sucks, then people around them are likely to be influenced by that. This is why the forums are such a cesspit, and in my opinion just should be closed down entirely. They put off new players, and people that read them enough think that the game is a lot worse than it actually is. But the thing is, when your guildmates start saying that, people you trust say, oh, well, I hate this aspect, then you're more inclined to listen to them. And again, bad morale is contagious. It spreads like wildfire. When people start leaving your guild, stopping playing the game, yeah, that's a big morale hit. And again, that can be a domino effect. The whole thing could topple down like a house of cards. We've already seen people complaining their guilds are emptying, their servers are getting a little bit empty. It might be the case. Why people are demanding new servers when there's all these half-empty servers, I really don't know. But it is dangerous. It genuinely is dangerous, and I do hope Blizzard do have something to show us. Blizzard are pretty good at showing us exciting things. exciting things, and I hope they manage it. I do hope they pull it off. I'm disappointed that I'm not going to be there, but we will of course show you everything we possibly can from BlizzCon this year. Now, I'm going to play one more track, and then I'm kind of going to do a little bit of reminiscing, just for a little while, before I end the show and hand over to Ortel and Hordak for this final time. You're listening to Blue Please here on WoW Radio with myself, Total Biscuit, and here's some Golden Axe for you. I'll be back in a couple of minutes. Enjoy.